I just got done therapy and I'm starting to have to realize that I have to live my truth of I don't want to be with my husband anymore. I am constantly feeling like I'm being held down. And part of that is codependence, where his energy is impacting my energy. And I got really sad. I got sad that he was talking about going to all these places that I remember us going to or like talking about going to. And I was like, are you going to pick someone up? And
Welcome
he's like,
back, gentlemen. Today's story is one of those situations that makes you stop and ask, what exactly is the plan here? She ended the marriage, started seeing someone new, but still can't handle the idea of her ex moving on. Somehow she wants a new relationship while expecting the old one to stay exactly where she left it. Let's break down what happened and see how this situation unfolded.
and I'm starting to have to realize that I have to live my truth of I don't want to be with my husband anymore.
The moment therapy enters the story, the relationship is already under pressure. Sometimes people walk in hoping to repair the marriage. Other times, one person walks out more convinced it's time to leave. The real question isn't whether therapy changed the relationship. It's whether the decision had already been made before those sessions ever started. Let's keep watching.
I am constantly feeling like I'm being held down. And part of that is codependence, where his energy is impacting my energy. But like it does. Like, I know everyone's like, oh, have really strong boundaries. Like, other people shouldn't impact you. But like, I don't think that's reality. People impact other people. And I need to accept that I got with my husband out of potential. He had the potential to be a great earner. He had the potential to be a great father. And you know what? All of that is true. He is a great father. He is a great provider. He's not a great partner. And that's not really because of anyone's fault. It's just our personalities don't really jive. Like, I am chaotic and wild, and I love that about me. And for the longest time, he, anchored me. He held me down because I couldn't regulate myself. But I can regulate myself because I.
This is where expectations and reality start pulling in different directions. The stability she once had no longer feels exciting, and she's convinced that something different will make her happier. But chasing a new feeling doesn't always lead to a better outcome. Sometimes people only realize the value of consistency after they've walked away from it. What looked ordinary at the time can become much harder to replace than they ever expected. That's what makes this part of the story so interesting. The excitement may be temporary, but the consequences can last much longer.
He tries to let go of the anchor, right? But then when we live our own independent lives, I realize, like, I don't really want to intersect with you much. Like, what's funny is I think we already do what we need to do to be good parents, but he's not giving me the time of day. He refuses to sit down with me. Everything's my idea, right? He doesn't initiate anything. I would be fine doing everything on my own. He just makes things a little easier with childcare and money and money. But is that enough? I don't think it is. And so instead of being like, oh, do I want to be with him? Do I not? Oh, well, he's kind of good. Oh, this, maybe he'll change. He won't. And if he does change, it's not at the pace that I am changing. And I am changing so rapidly. I'm flying away. I'm flying away. And if he tries to tether me, it's going to snap. Like, I need to
Listen carefully to what she's actually describing. Most of what she points to sounds less like major betrayal and more like ongoing frustration. Whether those issues are enough to end a marriage is something everyone will judge differently. What stands out is that she seems to be searching for a clear reason that makes the decision feel undeniable. But when there isn't one dramatic moment, the conversation becomes much more complicated. At the end of the day, stability can be easy to overlook while it's there. Sometimes people don't recognize its value until they've already walked away from it. Let's see what happened after the divorce.
I am separated from my kid's father. However, we still cohabitate and co-parent very well together. And also, I'm in a long-term relationship with another man and very content in that. And yet the grief of the loss of the relationship with my husband, it comes in waves. And it's so frustrating to me because it's not like I actually think that it's a suitable like that kind of relationship is not suitable for us, like a romantic one, but I yearn for it. I yearn for the familiarity of him. He's going away with our friends from college, which, are his friends, not my friends. And it is what it is. It's okay. And I got really sad. I got sad that he was talking about going to all these places that I remember us going to or like talking about going to. And I was like, are you going to pick someone up? And he's like, at the bar? And I was like, yeah. He goes, do I have to talk to you about it first? And I was like, no, you can do whatever you want. And he's like, well, I'd talk to you about it after. I'm like, yeah, of course you'd talk to me about it after. I just want to hear what you're doing. And he's just like, I don't know. Like, that's not really, I guess I could. And I just started kind of like welling up with tears. And he's like, what? And I'm like, just imagining you like flirting with another person and how much I loved when you were animated and happy.
This is where the situation starts looking contradictory. She chose to leave the relationship and has already started moving on. Yet seeing her ex do the same still brings out a strong emotional reaction. That raises an interesting question. Is she missing the relationship itself, or simply struggling with the reality that life continues after the breakup? Moving on has to work both ways. Once a relationship ends, neither person can reasonably expect the other to remain emotionally frozen in place forever. And that's exactly why this part of the story gets people talking.
Yeah, but he's like, I'm still not going to initiate. That's still not who I am. And I was like, yeah, but people come on to you, like when you're out, like, that it's happened a lot. And he's just like, yeah, I'll entertain it. And I was like, right. So I'm sad about that. And he goes, but Megan, your issue is that I never initiate anything. And he goes, and I'm still not an initiator. Like, that has not changed. I'm like, no, understood. And I think I just had a moment where I almost feel like he was like an actual like human to me. He's a very flat person. He just doesn't exude emotion. He doesn't express himself. And this morning, he just was like talking and I was like having fun conversing with him. And it just made me sad of like, oh, not what if, because I know it's not, but it just, again, it made me sad that like, can't have anything simple, like just can't have the simple life that I thought I was going to have. And yeah, my life is complicated. And I also feel it a lot that school's starting and talking with parents and they're like, oh, what'd you do? And I was like, oh, I went on these trips. And they're like, oh, how'd the kids like it? I'm like, oh, I actually went with my boyfriend and his kids. And they're like,
this is where the conflict becomes clear. She seems to want the excitement of a new relationship while still expecting the stability and support that came with the old one. In reality, those expectations don't always fit together. Long-term relationships often depend on consistency, responsibility, and trust. Those qualities may not always feel exciting, but they're usually what hold everything together. That's why this story resonates with so many people. Sometimes we only recognize the value of stability after we've already traded it for something that couldn't replace it.